What is that?
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
Gobble, gobble.
except the ones I have a restraining order against. What's up?
Only in the state of Alabama.
Tonight, we'd like to welcome you to another episode of Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater.
Yeah, thank you, Russ, for the fucking Jerry Lewis fucking invitation there. God damn. God, threw me off the entire show. Thank you, y'all. Y'all have a good fucking night.
Peace out. Shortest show in the history of shows. Let's go.
All right. Again, it's Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater time. Your host, Nick Brammer. And we're a little short on crew tonight. Rob isn't feeling too well, so everybody make sure you hit him up on Messenger. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Tell him. We hope you get better, you lazy.
We'll put his phone number in the description.
Yeah. There you go. Give him a call.
Make sure you video call him. He'll love that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Late at night. He's a night owl, so do it after 2 a.m.
Usually.
And be very, very nice about it. Say, you lazy piece of shit.
Well, there's at least 4 of us, and we're expecting somebody else hopefully later. So
we'll see.
Let's go ahead and do our thing, get our intros done. Josh Fisher, where are you at?
Hey, what's up? I'm here with you guys every Friday night on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel here in the theater. Always enjoy my time here. You can find me as my you can find me as my regular name on Facebook and in the groups. You can catch me on the All Queued Up podcast every other Friday that I do with my friend Greg. And hopefully we'll be doing some Off the Runner again soon. Been a couple weeks, but that's me.
All right. Russ the Muss. Where can folks find you?
Well, I'm around, here and there. Here on Fridays, of course, with you lovely people. And hopefully when Plastic Fanatics comes back, we'll be up on there on Saturday nights. And we'll see. James, whenever James decides to do it again. I did hear from him, by the way. I mean, a lot of people heard from him. He's doing all right. He's just a lot of it's like trying to get better, and then a lot of other shit hits. You know how that is, right?
Yeah.
Shit always hits.
Yeah.
So it's but he's getting there, man. He's doing okay. So yeah, so it was nice to hear from him. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. They got pissed at me on YouTube again because I said some dirty words again. They got so what the fuck, man?
I can't believe they get mad at you for showing it any.
I know, dude. What can I say? I think it was the fuzz. I had fuzz in it. I didn't clean it out real quick.
All that taco meat.
I say, I was saving it for later. Jesus God.
Waste not, want not.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Good right there. And of course, I like to lurk on the YouTube. The YouTube, the Realm of Collectors Facebook page. I lurk on YouTube, that's for sure.
You ain't lying.
Never know what you'll find.
All right,
fucking
Sam Mead.
What's up? Insta_Sam89 on Instagram, and then Sam Mead in the Facebook groups. And hey, happy birthday to Night of Ren, Caleb, regular chat member of all the rock shows. So I think he's like 19. He's a young boy. So
he's like that young. Wow.
Yeah, he's in college.
Oh man, happy birthday, dude! I'm sorry, man. He's like, he's awesome, man. He's like a real good person to have a chat with in there, man. He's good.
Yeah, he doesn't live too far from here either, actually.
Oh, is he a Virginia boy?
No, he's a Tennessee boy, but
okay, yeah. I mean,
he's only about 3 hours away from here.
I forget where you live. It's like real close to Tennessee and Kentucky and all them other bumfuck Egypt states.
It is the epitome of bumfucked Egypt.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
FE, baby.
Deliverance County.
But down. No, sorry.
There you go.
All right, and I am your host, Masterpiece Shitpiece, Nick Brammer. You can find me on Facebook at Nick Brammer, Twitter at Brammer_Nick, and on Instagram as Masterpiece_Shitpiece, I think.
I think also Nick Brammer on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't post shit under that one.
Yep.
Like,
You have two of them?
And I will be turning my camera off because I forgot that we were doing a show and I grabbed an ice cream sandwich and I'm not letting that fucker melt.
He doesn't want He doesn't want people to see how well he inserts long objects into his mouth.
I was gonna say he likes to suck out all the ice cream from the middle, and then he eats the bread parts later. It's weird. I've seen it on a hangout.
It's delightful. Yum.
I'm good at what I do, baby.
Hey, we all got to be good at something. It's a good deal.
Yeah, Kate did refer to you the other night as a minute man. So
yeah, thanks for that. That was real.
Damn, dude.
That was information everybody needed.
It was.
God damn, I miss all the fun.
That's all right. I'm hitting up Misty in her DMs, and you'll see what a minute man is.
Ooh.
I highly doubt it.
All right, ladies and germs. We had a great show last week. I really enjoyed what we did with the Stan Lee tribute.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that show yet, watch it.
Unfortunately, while we were on air, somebody felt like they needed to disparage the name of Stan Lee and the medium of comic books. Just a little background. I was a huge Bill Maher fan around the time of Religulous because I'm an atheistic asshole. Okay. I also liked his hardline liberal politics because I am a hardline liberal and conservative on some things, but a lot of the stuff that he said made sense. I like the support of our former president, Barack Obama. That was my political shit. Anyways, he decided to basically say that Stan Lee's basically make fun of the people mourning Stan Lee's death and downplaying the medium of comics and comic book movies, of which he was in one. So I thought it would be a good idea, and we know that Bill Maher's never going to see this show, but just to educate him a little bit about comics and how without Stan Lee, this medium wouldn't be where it's at. We have had a comic book win the Pulitzer Prize, Moss by Art Spiegelman. The story,
Mouse.
Dude, it's Moss. I don't give a fuck. Stop fucking correcting me for stupid shit.
He's eating an ice cream sandwich, man.
That's right. God damn.
Oh, Jesus.
So we've had a comic book win a Pulitzer Prize. Multiple comics have won the Hugo Awards. So we've had Stephen King write comic books. Paul Cornell, the author of the London Falling series. Chris Roberson, writer of the Celestial Empire series, and Brad Meltzer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Neil Gaiman too is one.
Neil Gaiman
in both categories.
I'd just like to go down the list of some of the major awards that comic books have won. I'm not going to go through everything. Again, Moss for the Pulitzer Prize by Art Spiegelman. Hugo Award winners. The Hugo Award is a series of literary awards given annually for the best science fiction or fantasy works and achievements of the previous year. In 1988, Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons won. 2009, Girl Genius, Volume 8. 2010, Girl Genius, Volume 9. 2011, Girl Genius, Volume 10. 2012, Digger by Ursula Vernon. 2013, Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, another accomplished novelist. 2015, Miss Marvel, who introduced a female teenage Muslim superhero into the world. 2016, The Sandman Overture, again by Neil Gaiman. And in 2017, another Hugo Award winner, Monsters Volume 1, Awakening by Marjorie Liu. Now, the Hugo Award is given to any science fiction work. It is not just a comic book award. So there you go. The Bram Stoker Awards is for recognition by the Horror Writers Association for superior achievement in dark fantasy and horror writing. These are, again, comic books that have won that award. 2000, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Volume 1 by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill. 2003, The Sandman, Endless Nights by Neil Gaiman. 2011, Neonomicon by Alan Moore. Witch Hunts, A Graphic History of the Burning Times by Rocky Wood and Lisa Morton. 2013, Alabaster Wolves by Caitlin R. Kiernan. 2014, Bad Blood by Jonathan Mayberry and Tyler Crook. 2015, The Shadow Show. In 2017, Kindred, a graphic novel adaptation by Damian Duffy. Now, just in comparison, I'd like to go through some of Bill Maher's IMDb. The best credit he's had besides playing himself was playing Baba in DC Cab. He was in House 2, The Second Story. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death was a real fucking winner.
What was that?
Let's see. Anything else that he's done actually with... Oh, I'm sorry. He was in Tomcats, uncredited, as a character called Carlos. I'm sure that was really fucking credible. Bill Maher with his pasty fucking skin playing a man named Carlos.
Side note, I actually have that movie on DVD. It's actually pretty fucking funny. But yeah.
Do you have the 1/6 figure of Bill Maher from that movie?
Oh yeah.
No, because they didn't make one.
It's just sitting on eBay.
So if you can't do anything besides play your fucking self and do political commentary, you might want to shut the fuck up about Stan Lee.
Mm-hmm. Man, and it's like we said last week, it's just a perfect example of someone with a lack of imagination, you know. And it's like with how politicized this world is, like you'd think, because Nick, like politically, you know, not that I want to bring this up on the show, but like you and I are in the same boat. So it's like you think that somebody with all the same political beliefs as you would relate to them. But then it's like Bill Maher showing that like you can have all those same outlooks but still be on very different fucking planets in this case, so to speak, if he can just discredit that whole medium, you know.
And there are another thing is that there are actual studies, and I have one pulled up here by the Illinois Department of Education, for improving early literacy. Reading comics is no child's play. Comic books have been proven to improve children's vocabulary, to ease children that are having problems into reading.
Hell yeah, man.
And a lot of comics now are taught in fucking university classes, and that's something else that Bill Maher had a problem with. I'm sorry that DC Cab hasn't had its own dissertation written.
Yeah,
Stupid fuck.
One of the things that has happened as a result of this, 2 days ago, he appeared on Larry King Now. And Larry King brought up the backlash, and he's like, well, I wasn't even aware of it until today because I don't follow everything that people get up in arms about on social media. But he says, you know, this is his quote. He says, I'm an agnostic on Stan Lee. I don't read comic books. I didn't read them when I was a child. What I was saying is the culture that thinks that comic books and comic book movies are profound meditations on the human condition is a dumb fucking culture. And for people to get mad at that just proves my point. Honestly, I think this I think he just needs to fucking pick up one of these award-winning comics, read some, and eat his own fucking words. But that's never going to happen. So,
and if he did, Josh, and if he picked, I mean, it could be any of these books. Like he's gonna see a piece of himself in one of these characters, and that in and of itself is the point of fiction. Whether he sees himself as being the villain or the fucking hero, if he makes that connection, then that's the point, and it's like the author's goal has been achieved at that point,
and the
carry
thing
on.
too, look at Mouse. That is a prime example of reading and seeing how the human condition is translated through that. Even though it's focusing on mice are the characters, but yeah, it's just
Yeah, and I mean,
it's dumb to make that blanket statement like he has.
Oh, exactly, because you can say that about like text fiction, that it's trash when there's such a broad spectrum, And then I think it's with comic books, what they've kind of always done, especially like what a lot of what Stan Lee did, is like some stories about humans are like too big to be told straight up. So you almost have to tell them like as parables, you know what I mean? Or like what he did with X-Men in the 60s, you have to do it in a way that people are ready for, So it's like you can't discredit that. And like you said, Josh, it's a blanket statement.
It's a very foolish statement to make.
Like saying that like film is trash. Or that it's like a shitty medium,
I'm a believer that guys like him are just assholes that want to stir the pot, dude. They're gonna intentionally say something that they know is gonna cause a lot of people to get fired up, and I think
he dip out.
And Bill Maher, especially, he's one of those guys that specializes in it, and it worked.
It's a troll.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to troll people a little bit, but I think he does it more for attention than anything. Because I mean, other than politics, who gives a shit about him? He's nobody. I mean, I don't even care. I don't even pay attention to him for politics anymore. Does he even have? He still has a show. I didn't even know he had a show.
He does on HBO.
On HBO.
It's on HBO. Okay, that's probably why. That's where all good. That's where everyone goes to die. It's all good.
We would save this for another thing, but
yeah, but I mean, whatever. I just think he's an ass clown for some. I read some of the comments he made, and I was kind of. It just sounded like somebody was intentionally trying to. Somebody would say just to fire people up. That's what it sounded like to me. How it came across. I just think he's a fucking idiot.
As timely as it was,
Yeah. Another point I'd like to make is that a lot of people came from broken homes enjoy comic books more than people with normal lives.
Probably
in normal parentage.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Bill Maher, we can thank your fucking generation for having that many shitty fathers and turning us on to them.
For real.
All right. So, fuck that guy. I used to be a fan. Not anymore.
He's had enough of our time.
He's had enough of our time.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
All right. You want to do a quick fantasy league update?
Yeah, I didn't know if you had that prepared or not. Go ahead,
I
Josh.
do.
We really got to talk about this past week, do we? Really?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh.
There is no three-way tie for first in the husbands division anymore.
Yeah.
I'm rightfully where I'm supposed to be. Rob does have the same record, but he has a loss to me, and he has fewer points than me, so there is no tiebreak at this point. Russ has dropped to third in the division with a loss last week. Who was it that beat you, Russ?
Some ass clown. I don't know. Don't flex too hard.
Don't ever disparage Lord Baker again.
You know what?
He was off, and he still kicked your ass.
Dude, I had players just even show up. Come on, man. It was horrible, dude. Plus, I had a bunch of guys all injured and bye weeks. I'm having the worst time ever, man. I don't know. Excuses.
I almost lost to Sam.
What?
I almost lost to Sam. If it hadn't have been for that fucking game Monday night, the 54-51 game between the Chiefs and the fucking Rams and the where I have the Rams defense, their 3 interceptions and that saved me because I was trailing Sam by over 10 points, but fortunately my defense scored 30-some points at night, so I still won.
And Rush, you have no fucking excuse. I had 5 players on bye.
I know. I'm just trying to make shit up. I'm trying to go with anything I can reach. I'm grasping.
Tiffany,
it didn't help that the Eagles got drummed. Okay, you
yeah,
know, and Wentz just his numbers were atrocious. He didn't do anything, and so basically, you get enough players that just don't even put up a number. It's like, well, that's what you get. Although I tell you what, that game made the game on Monday night made it more interesting because at first he was fucking killing me, dude. And I had, I got Goff and other brand, and because they had that back and forth the way they did, I at least scored over 100 points. I was happy. I was like, at least they made it respectable.
yeah. You were within 13 points. So
yeah. Oh man.
Tiffany and Kate, they were 7-4 both when they went up. Kate took the loss, or they were 7-3. Kate took the loss, and she's now 7-4. And Jackie is 8-3 with the best team in the league. Not Jackie, but Tiffany. Sorry, 8-3, best team in the league. Kate, second best team in the league, and then me, third. But that's okay because
unbelievable.
That's okay. Their time will come.
Shit was gonna happen.
I will take care
I
of
did
them.
too. I had this funny feeling. I was like, oh man.
Misty faced Jackie. She dropped to 6-5, and Jackie improved to 6-5. And Anna lost to Rob, dropping to 4-7. Rob improved to 6-5.
Damn, you're out here beating people's wives.
Yeah, that's why he's sick. He's paying penance now.
Yeah.
This week I'm facing Nick. Nick's got a good jump on me with the Thanksgiving games yesterday. Anna's facing Kate. Misty is facing Russ. Both of you had some players yesterday. Sam, actually, Jesus Christ, you're looking like you are going to beat Rob with your highest point total of the year. You scored almost as many points yesterday, almost half as many yesterday as you scored in an average week.
Good.
And then Jackie, holy shit, who did she have? She had Drew Brees and several other players. So she's already got 60-some points, and she's slated. Looks like she's going to beat Tiffany. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. But playoffs are soon. A couple more weeks, and the playoffs start. So the next couple of weeks are crucial for everybody. So we'll see how this turns out.
I'm waiting to turn it on till the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to make the playoffs.
What?
You gotta actually
make the playoffs. Yeah, not everybody's automatically in. It's only like the top 4 or 6 teams.
There's a consolation playoff, I think there is too. So
yeah, there is.
Yeah, so that's just to make sure that people don't dump their teams. That people have.
Yeah.
If anybody dumps their team, I'm locking your roster.
Would be participation
podcast.
Participation trophy.
Fuck that! I'm not done. So. I never dump my team. I'm like F all you. I'm not helping anybody. I'm not ever dumping players. I hate that shit.
You're going down with me.
That's right.
I dump players to pick up. I dump players to pick up players, but I'm not dumping the whole team.
That's different there. That's different. I'm talking about. I know people are like they'll sit there and start dumping their stars and start putting like scrubs on their team. You know what I mean? Just to put people out there. And it's like, dude,
fuck up a league.
Yeah, because it's like there's always guys that go, oh, Tom Brady's on the waiver wire, huh? I'll go pick him up. Like that.
That was the MPSP husbands versus wives update.
All right, cool. I guess we can go ahead and move into comic news because our guest isn't here.
Smoking Dakota.
So,
Did he go?
Dakota, where
Did he
are
go?
you?
I mean, did somebody
He
talk to him
okay?
earlier?
Oh, I talked to him earlier today. I was like, "You're coming on the show tonight, right?" He's like, "Yes, sir." I was like, "Sweet." I wonder if he thought it was 9 p.m. swamp time.
He's a swamp time.
Isn't he on?
I didn't know they were. I didn't
No,
know
he's
they
on.
had
I think he's on Central because he's in
He's on my-
Louisiana.
Oh, is he? Is Louisiana? I don't know Louisiana. Are they on Central Time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Anna just told me she lived down there for a year back when.
Down.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and screen share some shit.
All right, that's
So,
screen.
let's go ahead. We got some
Screen
cool
share.
stuff for comic news this week. Can you guys see the big, nice picture of Thanos?
He looks fantastic. That's
Mhm.
Thanos. That's my
Like
Thanos.
Walker in
Right
the
there.
chat, man.
Fuck that raisin boy on the movie. That's my Thanos.
What?
I don't
Okay,
like.
guys. Basically, Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be. If you listened a few weeks ago, Guardians of the Galaxy will be relaunching, and they're basically spoiling that a new character is going to become the new Thanos.
What?
Yeah. So if you look at this, if you look here, we've got a whole bunch of faces over here, and here's a
Man,
list.
that's Colossus. Oh, is that Colossus?
Nah,
Oh, okay.
that's Neutron.
Oh, okay. Well,
So here's a list of the characters depicted, and so this could all be a swerve, and it could just be Thanos coming back, but they're trying to build some kind of mystery towards it. After spoilers,
Who's Nikki?
Nikki was a member of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Once I want to say Valentino took over, he went a little bit further in the future, and Nikki was the bearer of the Phoenix Force back then.
Okay.
So here's your picture. It's on Newsarama if you guys want to follow along. Row 1 is Super Scroll, Titan, Phyla-Vell, Star Fox, Wraith, who was a really interesting character in Annihilation, Darkhawk, Moondragon, Nikki, who was the Phoenix Force wielder that I just told you about, Neutron. A lot of these names like Titan and Neutron, they're members of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Oracle, Electron, my boy, Nornrad the Surfer, Nebula, who is getting a big run right now, Gamora, Charlie 27, who again was
original Guardian.
an original Guardian, along with Major Victory, who is Vance Astro in the future, who is Justice and Marvel Boy from New Warriors. Row 3, again, Gladiator, Smasher, Warstar. Those are members of your Imperial Guard. Then we get Chod and Raza, who are members of the Starjammers.
Ooh, Chode. Yeah.
Chode.
Yeah, that's how they pronounced it in the cartoon. Chode.
Chode.
Manta, Magic, Corsair, Hepzibah, Schism, Plutonia, Firelord, Cerise. Cerise was a really interesting character. Ultimus, the Collector. That could be interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Ghost Rider, Warlock, and the last row, and there's some obviously obscured by Thanos' head, Beta Ray Bill and Nova.
Isn't Corsair
Is
Cyclops
that
dead?
is that the Rich Rider Nova?
Yes. I believe that they've basically given up on Baby Nova. So here's the solicitation for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's written by Donny Cates, who did the Thanos little maxi series. I believe both of them were 12 issues, or maybe one was 12, one was 6. Thanos is dead. Long live the new Thanos. But who will it be? Will the new Guardians of the Galaxy find that person in time before the universe comes crashing down? So there we go. Tom King, the writer of the main Batman title will be taking a break from Batman due to secret TV stuff, and he made the announcement on
Wait,
the
Tom
Seth
King?
Meyers show. What's up?
Tom King, you said? Okay, now I'm reading
Yes.
it. Yeah, that dude's good, man.
So he was originally solicited for writing Batman 64 and 65. And in his tweet, he says, "Solicits show me not writing 64 and 65. What happened? A while back, I needed 2 weeks off to work on the secret TV stuff. Josh Williamson and I were already planning this Bat Flash crossover, and he kindly agreed to write the whole thing to give me this time." So that's interesting. Tom King will be doing a TV project, and it's not being mentioned what it is yet, but those 2 issues of Batman will be written and drawn by Josh Williamson.
He's actually filming a couple episodes of The Bachelor.
Wouldn't that be cool?
See, you're wrong again. It's The Bachelor in Paradise. Get that shit right.
He's making
Okay, I don't know reality TV like you do.
That's right, man. You gotta get up on that shit.
Yeah, I'd much rather be on The Bachelor in Paradise than The Bachelor. I mean, at least you can be in paradise, right? I mean, shit.
Yeah, international waters, man. Anything goes.
Yeah, that's
I'd
right.
rather be on The Bachelorette because it's me and a bunch of other guys.
There you are.
There's Mr. Stud. What's up, Dakota?
Hey guys.
You're late,
I was-
sugar tits.
The newly christened Beast Wars Koresh.
Oh my God.
Oh,
It's true.
All right. Turok is coming back. I don't know if you guys used to play the game.
I used to play the
not-
original on the
not-
Nintendo 64.
wow.
And
I used to go into the woods and pretend like I was Turok, man, when I was a kid.
hell yeah. So Turok is a time displaced Native American who fights dinosaurs. Bang. Straight up.
What? All right, put up the vibrator.
Hey, I didn't think you'd hear me. I didn't think you'd hear me sitting on it. I'm sorry. So this is going to be published by Dynamite Comics, who do things like Project Superpowers, the Red Sonja books, and stuff like that. They also were publishing the Green Hornet series that Kevin Smith and some other writers like Phil Hester did.
It's crazy that dude went from like Jay and Silent Bob to comic books.
Yeah.
I moved up in the world.
Now, this gets me excited. Marvel Comics will be publishing League of Legends comics.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
If
Are they
anybody
going to
is-
be about the toxic fandom?
no, who knows? Trinamir will probably be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But here's some artwork. Looks good. We have Ash. Hell, you can't even recognize half these people who they are in the game.
Yeah.
You can just see who Ash is. Let's see. Here's your solicit. Oh, it's all about Ash. No wonder why.
Well, there you go.
Odin Shaper, I don't even know them.
League of Legends is a MOBA game, which means it's MOBAs start off. We've talked about this ad nauseum with the original Defense of the Ancients Dota, coming out of Warcraft 3. It's a game. It's a tower defense game where you try to kill people and take their towers and win the game. So it's the most popular game in the world. The viewership for the League of Legends Championships dwarfs the audience for the Super Bowl every year.
No shit.
League of Legends was also made famous for having multiple people die in Korean PC bongs for playing the game for
72 hours nonstop.
48 to 72 hours nonstop and dying.
It's got a big following all over the world. That's why it's it's almost like soccer.
They have professional esports teams, and you know what? Certain governments, I know the South Korean government is one, actually pay their esports teams salaries.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, they take that shit seriously.
Yeah, they do.
South-
Yeah, they
South-
lose
South-
to cut your head off. That's great.
Yeah, no, that would be North Korea, Russ. You
Oh,
fuck.
sorry, wrong
play
one.
soccer
My
with them in
bad.
the streets.
Damn.
Same smell. Anyway, go ahead.
Same smell. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Send your hate
The
mail to
views and
fucking
opinions
Russ.
expressed by Russ the Must do not reflect the values of the
That's why you get banned
MPSP
from
creator.
YouTube, bro.
Now let's
about
get
the
this-
same over at Primal
Expression. I
Savage,
didn't
so
mean
it's
it
fine.
legitimately.
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
Marvel is got Conan back.
I didn't even know they lost it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they lost it for a while. Dark
Horse
Horse had
been
it.
doing all the Conan stuff. And here you go, Dakota. Can you see this? Conan the Barbarian, #1 by Jason
Ooh,
motherfucking
shit.
Aaron.
Dude.
Oh my god, dude! How does he do it? How does he have all this material? Like,
In his brain.
I'm
fucking
so in love with the like. I've loved his run on Avenger, as our Thor rather, and this new Avengers run
Hey,
has me fucking amped.
Coda, did you read Southern Bastards, that Image book?
That is
Why
so
would you
good.
think that?
Dude, hey, if you haven't, read that, man. It's awesome. It's
Because I got a twang to my voice.
no, Jason
No,
Aaron, dude. Jason Aaron.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
For some reason in this announcement it isn't mentioned, but there is going to be 2 Conan books.
Hey, scroll
one-
up on your thing. Are those knife holsters? What are those things?
I don't know. It's some ad.
Oh,
Those are
bookmarks.
bookmarks.
That's pretty fucking dope, man.
That's
That
because
is-
it's your
that is
fucking
kinda
search
cool.
history. That's why.
That's pretty.
That's how AdSense works, Nick.
But I believe I can't remember who the creative team is for the other Conan book, but both of them will be published by Marvel.
I will.
That's awesome. That's when is that coming out? Is it saying when that's starting?
Jesus Christ, Russ.
You and all the questions, bro.
I had,
Sorry, I was just asking. Because I like Conan.
I bought a lot of comics, and I ended up getting Conan #1. That lot.
December 3rd. So
Okay.
next new comic book day.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go to the comic book store.
Yeah.
I start my vacation that week too. Nice. All right.
And actually, another thing to be excited about this is Esad Ribic is going to be doing the covers.
That dude's dope.
Oh, sweet.
That dude is
Yeah.
awesome.
Variant covers by Greg Hildebrandt, so that's pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
To me, I should drop by the variant and the. Shit.
All right, let me go ahead and stop screen sharing here. Something I wanted to go ahead and follow. Oh, Jesus Christ. Something I wanted to go ahead and follow up on from a few weeks ago. We talked about the Mandalorian.
They got a guy,
and they've cast the Mandalorian.
Ooh.
It's
like, okay.
What is the guy's name? Is it Pablo Pascal?
I think so.
The Red Viper is going to be the Mandalorian from fucking what is it? Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
So
that guy was a badass.
So you've got Jon Favreau directing, you in writing, and now you've got
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, thank you. He was also in Narcos. He's excellent in that.
Yeah, he
Not
played.
being a big Star Wars fan, I love the Mandalorians and bounty hunter type shit.
Yeah.
So I'm finally like excited for something Star Wars related, and they're like cowboys. They're like cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that's where this show lives. I hope they kind of find their own pocket and just explore something we haven't seen already, you know.
If this does well enough, I want a Cowboy Bebop live action movie.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be dope.
Don't get me started on that.
Netflix will probably make one.
Oh yeah.
They also have cast Gina Carano in The Mandalorian.
See, that's why I have you guys, because I miss all this shit.
She's just gonna play herself.
So
Yeah.
far, those have been the only two
Besides Warner,
casting
besides
announcements.
Warner Herzog.
Well, I thought he was the director, wasn't he?
No, that's Jon Favreau.
I thought he was just the showrunner. So what's
Yeah, I think
Werner Herzog doing?
He's actually cast in a role.
Oh, but they've not specified the role.
Right. They haven't said what he's doing, but
My mistake.
it's all right. But so with them not saying like what he's doing, he could be the narrator because he has that very distinctive voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome, dude. Pedro Pascal is awesome. When he was in Game of Thrones, man, the character he portrayed in Game of Thrones was one of the coolest characters. Had one of the most gruesome deaths too, but he was really cool. So
he was good good in Kingsman, the Golden Circle.
Yes, he was. Yes,
I haven't seen that one yet, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I warned everyone that we would be spoiling some shit in here. So if you have not caught up on IDW and don't want to be spoiled and don't want some speculation, now would be the time to dip. So
it's time, man. I read Optimus Prime 25 too. Also, like the reason I was late is because I was taking a nappy poo. But right before I took a nap, I read it.
Oh, a nappy poo. Oh.
Well, see, I didn't know if you thought we were going live on Swamp Time or Eastern Time.
Every time you say Swamp Time, it makes me think of.
No, man. Thanks to Bricks, like I pretty much live on Eastern Time now. So.
He's late for work all the time.
Oh God!
All right, so IDW has ended this iteration of Transformers.
Yes, they have.
Yep.
We've gone through. What do we want to do first? Do we want to go Unicron, Optimus Prime, and then Lost Light?
I think that would be the in terms because the books came out Lost Light, Unicron, Optimus Prime, but in terms of things from a linear standpoint, I think going Unicron, Optimus Prime, then Lost Light would be the way to do it.
Yeah, that would be the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start with you, Dakota, because I know you read it. What were your thoughts on Unicron, the series, and if you want to go ahead on the end?
So the series, man, like I'd always been super skeptical of them doing it because I always thought, man, it's gonna be same old bullshit, like Light Our Darkest Hour, blah blah blah. And I was just like, please don't go that route, and they didn't go that route, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's I remember picking the free comic book day Unicron and how it was just automatically starting out death and despair. Everybody's dying, like planets full of people are dying. So I like that they didn't waste any time getting into him consuming, and it wasn't just him going after Cybertron. He was going after all of the colonies too.
Right.
Just in the order that he approached them in. So you've got the Soul Star Order. Their home world's gone. The basically all the colonies, and then it gets to Cybertron, and then the way the Mistress of Flame kind of stood back on Caminus, and she ended up throwing that big ass hammer to who was it, Pyra Magna?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, so and then you need to do this now. The way her and Pyra Magna have been butting heads, not only Until All Are One, but even some books prior to that, because Pyra Magna doesn't believe in the whole, the Prime shtick.
Right.
Again, that was some more interesting stuff there. But that whole last stand with the Mistress Flame, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then you've got they teleported as many people to Cybertron as they could, expecting to make that the last stand. You had Starscream was just like, you guys don't know what you're doing, don't know what you're talking about. I'm here to save the planet, even though he's not really in charge anymore. Shockwave thinks he knows what's best. The Talisman playing a role into everything. And I thought it was, as a story, I thought it progressed really well. And then we finally get to the last story, that big, huge. I had to get one of the older back in bags.
Yeah.
To store it. But so we got that, and then what I thought that book was fucking aces from start to finish.
And
Um,
go ahead. Sorry.
it was just action packed. I had I have a thing for books where people die.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they killed a lot of people off in this one. So
Some major players.
Major
Right.
players, man.
Like some
yeah,
like Wheeljack and Blur, they left. I think that was like issue 3 or 4, something like that.
that's wow.
I thought Wheeljack was in the free comic book day issue, wasn't he?
Yeah, but later
It
on,
might-
I think Wheeljack, whenever Unicron got to Cybertron,
Yeah.
Wheeljack was one of the ones that stayed behind because he made the technology for the mass teleporter to get everyone off planet into Earth
Okay.
without having to waste one of Metroplex's space bridge jumps.
Yeah.
He
That's
can
right.
only do so many of those.
Yeah, because Metroplex has been fucked up for a bit.
Yeah, so they were like, we're gonna need him to do that. And dude, speaking of Metroplex, man, him and Trypticon, whenever they jumped to outer space and started fighting off Bludgeon and the Maximals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, that shit was killer. And then
Metroplex and Trypticon were like fighting with each other.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the
well-
thing: the war is over, and these are
Yeah, I get
Autobots
that.
and Decepticons. They've rallied together for the survival of their planet and species. Because
That's pretty cool, though, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
this.
And
Different
then,
approach.
then there was like, they had Titan Masters, or I don't know if they called them Titan Masters. What did they call Blackrock and Centurion?
They end up just calling them city speakers like Windblade.
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, because Windblade was in Metroplex.
Right.
Garrison was in Metro Titan, and Centurion, who was also Mike Power in a Cybertronian body, was inside of Trypticon.
Yeah.
So you had those 3 Titans just tearing it down, and then it was what was really fucking cool is Skywarp and
The Seekers getting back together.
Oh, dude, that shit!
Mhm.
I was like,
Whoa,
it
Thundercracker too?
Yeah,
Thundercracker,
dude,
dude.
it was
Man.
just the way it played out, because you see Starscream and Skywarp in space, and it looks like they're carrying something, and then Thundercracker is he's on Earth getting his affairs in order, I guess, in a way, and he flies real quick, and every time he transforms and flies, you see the boom because he boom.
Right.
He drops his dog off with Marissa, and I was like, oh fuck no, because he's taken that dog to space before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just like, take care of Buster, and she's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And they're like, and like in space, they're like, I think Skywarp was just like, he's late or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like, you see the boom on the panel, and Skywarp was like, there's no sound in space, you dummy. Stop doing that. And like, just seeing, oh fuck, dude, just seeing the 3 of those dudes together was amazing.
That's
And,
actually that's pretty cool, man. That's
There
pretty
I
was a
think
lot of
Thundercracker-
fan service in these issues.
Yeah.
But it was well
Dude,
done.
Yeah. Thundercracker was carrying the talisman. Starscream had Optimus Prime underneath him, and Skywarp had RC underneath him. Like, they were going to essentially drop those 3 off on Unicron, because Unicron got to Earth at that point. And in the way that, Thundercracker ended up getting hit, and Skywarp ended up coming in and taking a spear for him, basically. And Thundercracker transformed, and he was like, Seekers don't leave nobody behind. And he just tosses the talisman. I mean, just fucking, spikes that shit all the way to Starscream, who made it through.
Yeah.
And the whole deal about this mission was one of them knew, like, the 3 of them knew it was a one-way trip for somebody.
Yeah.
And Starscream, man, like, they did him so much
In
like,
front of
redemption.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like
Somebody said to him, I can't remember who. They said, I never would have imagined you being the savior of our race. He says,
Oh, it was
that's funny
RC.
because, he said, that's funny. I've always
I did.
known.
Yeah, dude. I was like, fuck, that's so fucking
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, just
I mean,
so many good moments in
That is
each
so
one of these.
weird because that boy talking about taking Starscream another direction. God,
Well,
Dude,
the-
he
wow.
he
the
he
way- the-
activated the talisman and sacrificed himself to
Yeah.
crack
Yeah,
open
that's-
Unicron.
but like
just to crack him open, and then like, of course, that's still a one-way trip for someone else. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it kind of harkens back to what was it, Armada, where he
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he tried
Where he took on Unicron.
where he tried to get Optimus and Megatron to
Okay.
put their shit aside.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Seekers being back together
That's-
was a really cool fucking moment.
pretty neat, dude. I don't know.
I will say one thing that like just something else to highlight at the end. Because I'm reading this book and like you think that, I mean, like, because they ganged up on Skywarp and Thundercracker, like, they're done for. It looks like they are fucked up. It's done. They're casualties. At the very end, you've Marissa standing there with Buster, and they're all happy, because it worked. Their plan worked. Everyone gets to live, and like you see Buster whimpering, and I was like, oh no, fuck no.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's a panel, and all you see is just the little boom letters. And I'm reading this shit at work, and I'm like ugly crying. Oh my god!
Well, yeah,
Nice.
that was a nice moment.
That's
But, yeah.
pretty impressive that they did all that for. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of fan service,
And-
but it's pretty cool.
and everybody shit on Till All Are One,
Yeah,
the series that was more political and told you about like Starscream being in charge of Cybertron and shit.
That was a
But
good
like
book. I
this
don't care what
paid
anyone says.
off so much of that. And yeah, another great thing is when the whole thing with Unicron started and he started eating the colonies. There were so many colonies that you thought, oh well, fuck, he's just eating the colonies. The last stand's gonna be on Cybertron. Nothing's gonna happen to Cybertron. And then Cybertron is gone.
Gone.
Damn.
Destroyed.
So basically there's no home planet for the Cybertronians.
It's not just the
There-
Cybertronians, but it's also the Elonians, and
Yeah,
there was a
all
little excerpt in the back. It
Solarians.
shows like it explains like what happened to like Gorlum Prime. Apparently, that was Unicron.
Yeah.
So you get to read up about like the rest of the colonies that, or the rest of the potential colonies that he got to throughout the series that they're able to kind of retroactively fit into that, which I thought was cool.
That's awesome, though. I mean, that sounds cool. It sounds like it was
Yeah.
really good.
And like Walt said, they took a page out of Headmasters. So there was a lot of nods to like I said, Armada, Headmasters. There was even some shit towards Victory at the end. And again, like you had that false sense of security that Cybertron was going to be fine.
Yeah, just
But
'cause
you
that's what
always-
you were used to.
You
That's
always
what
think
you're accustomed to
Cybertron's.
thinking.
That's because you think Cybertron's always going to be fine. It gets messed up, but it's always still there, right? You never think it's going to get banged up. It to be like to where it's gone. But I don't know. That's wow.
Like you
Thank
would have at
fucking
least
wow.
thought that maybe it would have been uninhabitable, but it still would have been there. But nope.
Right.
They like for the first time in any kind of historical way, like they let Unicron eat that fucking planet, and that kind of brings it back around to like why I like IDW so much, because they're gonna do the shit that no one else has done. You know what I mean, or that
Well,
maybe couldn't do.
over the years, IDW has definitely not been afraid to kill they'll kill characters off. Sometimes they do it in a really good way. A couple times I was kind of like, oh man, I wish you could have done them a little bit better than that. But
Honestly, out of all the deaths that have happened on the quote unquote road to Unicron,
right.
the only one that was just stupid and
Uh-huh.
done just for the sake of being done for it was Up. They couldn't have thought of a better way to like handle that. that I still stand by. Like, I think that was a dumb death.
Mm.
I'll tell you what wasn't a dumb death was fucking Soundwave.
Oh my
fuck,
God.
dude.
That
was
was
another one that had me like,
amazing.
Yeah.
That it was amazing how he went out.
I like the good is the cry.
No, dude.
It
Like,
was, man. It was fucking like that was some emotional shit, dude. And in the way, like
You
like that she was like, well, we wanted to use him to make the earth, the rest of the Earthlings see that like these Cybertronians are just as human as we are, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And you remember back in the day how dedicated Soundwave was to the Decepticon cause,
Right.
and how in the past he still was, but he was also about, dude. He just in his final moments, they were sitting there thinking all's lost. He's like, no, he says, I've got to buy Optimus more time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And that comes back to so many years of storytelling.
And how about
just
go ahead,
how it all
sorry.
comes full circle.
And you want to talk about coming full circle? Let's talk about Shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the master manipulator is manipulated. Shockwave,
Yeah, dude, his own motherfuckers turned on him.
Yeah, he recruited Bludgeon and the Decepticon
Right.
Vengeance Division.
The DVD.
Okay, whoa. Who was that?
It was essentially like Bludgeon's
Bludgeon
knockoff
Monstructor.
DJD.
Yeah.
So it was like their little cheap knockoff of the DJD.
It's not a cheap knockoff. It's like a completely different reason. They were just, if there was the DJD, then they were mocking the DJD basically.
Oh, that's even worse, motherfuckers.
No, it's not worse, dude.
That's horrible.
Dude, look, I love the DJD. Like, I loved all the stories with the DJD, but
The DJD is the only reason why I like IDW comics.
This was the way that, like, I'm glad they did that. I'm glad there was a kind of a callback to that, because like Nick said, it was mocking DJD. Because at this point, Megatron announced in front of the entire universe that he was wrong. There was an error in his ways, and so you still have a lot of like Decepticon purists out there that are like, I'm all about the dream still.
Right.
That will do whatever they can to mock him and ridicule him and show where he was wrong.
They drink that Megatron Kool-Aid a lot.
Yeah, well, like that's something like getting into just whenever we're going with this. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and start talking about some shit that happened in Optimus Prime 25. But you'll see, like, it kind of spells it out for you more easily about characters like Bludgeon and Scorponok and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. I get a little sensitive. The DJ, you're special.
Yeah, I can understand, but like
that's the thing where there were 5 members of the DJD. There were a fucking Starship Legion of Decepticon.
Dude, they had how many capital ships did they have, Dakota?
Oh, it was a fleet. Like, it was like an entire fleet. Because I remember, like,
fleet of Decepticons.
They ended up showing up into Cybertronian space. Because I can't remember what was it, Shockwave that said he was like, it was Bludgeon. I can't remember whose behest it was, but Bludgeon was like, yeah, we got to see.
Bludgeon was working for Shockwave, supposedly.
Yeah, he was basically mocking like Prime and everyone else that had just lost all their home. He was like, no, we'll stop him right here in space. They cast out this big net and did some shit. They set up shop in Toronto, which I thought was kind of fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. No, it sounds like it was good, though. It sounds like a really good story.
Yeah.
It was. It
was.
And it surprised me because I expected to see the wrong kind of fan service and fan wank, but I saw the right kind of fan service and fan wank.
I mean, they went back and they paid homage to even like the Shadow Play storyline with Shockwave.
Yeah, dude.
And like Unicron 6 was the perfect way to go ahead and end everything.
It really was, and I kind of wish that's what they would have ended it on to a degree. I don't know, Nick. I have different feelings about Optimus Prime 25 than you do after I read it.
You didn't feel meh?
No, actually, I thought that was a nice little bow to put on it. I mean, it felt like in terms of like an issue, it was a throwaway issue in my opinion, but it was wrapped up pretty nice and neat as far as I'm concerned. As just a send out, because it was very much like a send out issue.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think it was needed.
Oh no, was it needed? No,
No.
But it was nice to have.
It was just a way of squeezing an extra book out, man.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
It was Optimus Prime 25, so they were gonna put that. They're not ending at 24.
Right, I hear you.
I wish they could have used that book space and given us a Lost Light 26 instead. But
oh my god,
yeah, really.
Oh my god, we'll get the Lost Light. Which Lost Light to me is there's a lot of G1 and Beast Wars guys and maybe even Japanese series fans, but to me Lost Light and More Than Meets the Eye,
its predecessor.
That's
the thing, man. Like
that to me, besides some of the other IDW, to me is the best Transformers fiction of all time.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, like, there's only one thing that I'll hold the same regard as Beast Wars, and it's IDW.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the storytelling in IDW is amazing because I like how much they go into detail with characters. Like
you're able to do that with comics, and you can't do that with cartoons.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. You got to kind of move on when you're doing cartoon, but it's pretty awesome. They've always done a good job with that. I think. Just kind of.
Yeah. Just to put a cap on Unicron 6, it tied up everything that IDW has done over the last 15 years.
Oh yeah, and everything as far back as like the original, the first run of books they put out.
Yeah, there's even Grimlock shit. Well, the Grimlock shit was in Optimus 25, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was an Optimus 25.
Yeah,
Grimlock was still with the Lost Lighters.
Yeah, the Lost Lighters and the Scavengers. All right, so let's move into Optimus Prime 25.
Optimus Prime 25 was very much like a.
It's an epilogue.
Yeah, it's an epilogue, but it's okay. Very like Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me kind of story too.
Optimus Prime 25 was a Marvel's end credit scene.
It kind of was, man. But like there's one thing I really liked about how this book was structured. At first
the alternating pages.
Yes, like it was like the first page was basically Optimus Prime getting forged, and then the next page was how the colony were or not the survivors essentially were getting ready for his funeral, and it was like each page it was like one page continuation of that story and essentially his history throughout all the books, showing how he got interested in being a cop and even touching a little bit on like functionalism. He was like, I was a truck, that means I could have been this or this, not necessarily I wanted to be this or this, but it was talking about the functions controlled. Yeah, which I thought was cool. That's a great nod to some story that Roberts had set up back in More Than Meets the Eye. And it's been kind of cool even before that, but it'd been kind of going with that. And he was like, I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to fight injustice, which was interesting. And then going from that, through basically him being a cop and seeing even the police, like essentially the police brutality on Cybertron. And it was like, I think it was Outback. Was it Outback that was beating the shit out of Ravage just for scratching some graffiti? And he was like, this mean little puppet, and he didn't say that. He was, and Ravage was like, it's saying that maybe you were being deceived, like specifically you, or you are deceived, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which again was interesting.
Optimus Prime 25 basically, was the end.
Right. Yeah, that was the end. But that's the thing, man. Like Unicron 6, Optimus Prime 25. I feel like and it will never happen. There's a big enough G2 resurgence in the form of people wanting to see characters from G2. I think it's open to go that route. And their biggest enemy is going to be Pastelcron.
That's awesome.
But it's just because at the very end of Optimus Prime 25, which was, like I said, a very good recap on Optimus Prime's life and the eulogy given by Windblade, and she was like, he wasn't perfect. He was faulty. He said he wanted peace but thrived in war, and like all this other stuff. It showed how flawed the character of Optimus Prime really was, but also why he was such a hero. I like that most of all.
I was a huge Shakespeare guy in high school. I loved Shakespeare, and Windblade's eulogy for Optimus Prime kind of reminded me of Mark Antony burying Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to bury Caesar. I have not come to praise him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it was her, laying out his faults, but also, letting everybody know why Optimus was so important.
Right. And that's, like I said, man, I liked that, not only this book in particular, but all of the books. I feel like everything since Chaos Theory has laid out how faulty Prime is. Even though he's a hero, yeah, he's Optimus Prime, yeah, but it's like how much, he's just as much an issue as Megatron was, and we see that with the Dinobots. You don't want inline Prime, you want results.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like the way IDW characterized Prime was that ultimate character that wanted plausible deniability.
Right.
So he had the Dinobots and he had Prowl, and that way he could be Optimus Prime.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Prowl was basically the sent the wreckers out to all the nasty shit they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so saying like he has Prowl. Like it's not just the fact that Prowl, is a dirty backstabber and tried to,
right,
coup and all this other stuff. It's the fact like Prowl is the go between the wreckers and leadership.
That way there was no legit no attachment. Prowl's the one giving the order.
Right.
So if something were to happen with the Galactic Council, Black Consortia, any of these
right,
spacefaring groups, Prime could be like, no, that's y'all go arrest Prowl. That's his deal, and Prowl would have,
yeah.
Or even with their
I
own
love Prowl.
Dude, yeah, like there will never be a better Prowl.
No,
he's always been my favorite since I was a kid.
Really? Yeah. You like G1 Prowl, like the G1 cartoon Prowl. Did you like that version?
Well, I mean, he was my favorite as a kid.
I just thought he was boring, but okay.
Well, the cartoon made him boring, but I always
made him boring.
I loved his characterization from his file card that was written. I loved how he was like the tactician, he could assess every possible outcome and give you the best 100% chance.
IDW Prowl.
And I love how they capitalized on that to the extreme.
Yeah.
And I love how he just gives zero fucking fucks about your feelings about what he does.
Yeah.
And how and how if you piss him off, he will flip a fucking table.
Well,
God, give me a table so fucking Prowl can flip it.
I mean, in all IDW, Prime's really lost his shit on two characters, Megatron and Prowl.
And that says something.
That's it. Yeah. You know, everybody can push Optimus to a limit. You know, yeah, he killed Galvatron, but he saw that as a necessity. But like people that emotionally affect Prime the most, it seems to be Megatron and Prowl.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was Optimus Prime basically is a eulogy, issue. It eulogizes Prime. It gives you the nice clean wrap up that wasn't there in Unicron 6.
Then you've got something else like Tracks and Needle Nose trying to like sell some bullshit to the torchbearers.
Yeah.
And then Bumblebee, probably the saddest part of this entire book was Bumblebee on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where he was talking to Starscream, or at least so he thought, like that. There was always that deal when everyone thought Bumblebee was gone. Starscream
talking to him in his head and shit.
Yeah, talking to him in his head and how it was, and then then he comes back and there was like a kind of like bro moment with the two of them, and how close Starscream felt with Bumblebee, and in turn Bumblebee felt close with Starscream because now Bumblebee's talking to Starscream in his head.
Yeah.
Like when we first started talking about this, and even on Facebook, I posted, Optimus 25, but like it did wrap things up that needed to be wrapped up, and it gave you what you needed with the torch, with all the torchbearer stuff. Bumblebee, RC had some moments in that book too.
Yeah.
Even
at the
talking
end,
talking about her relationship with Aileron.
I mean, not just talking about her relationship with Aileron, but whenever she was essentially telling the new Transformers, the quote unquote second generation, about Optimus Prime, and she was like, or I think Sideswipe was like, how do you know that's what he said? It was, you weren't there, and she was just like, because I knew him in life. Or how do you know that's what he said when he died? And she was like, I knew him in life. Yeah. But
that's pretty
cool.
Cool.
that stuff with RC talking about Jihaxis, and and even she even brought up a node. She was like, I don't know what happened to a node.
Yeah.
We do, but yeah.
All right. Time to go to Lost Light.
Yeah.
This
holy
book,
shit.
Holy fuck. Again, more than me.
Can we kind of recap Lost Light? Was it 24 when everything went down?
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
All right, so basically, Megatron, who was trapped in the Functionist universe, which was due to Terminus being a dirty, no-gooding liar. But he did it for his friend, but like it caused everyone else on the other side to think that he just wanted a grand escape, because that was his character, always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. So he brings because the Functionist universe is an alternate universe where Megatron was never born due to events that happened in More Than Meets the Eye. And essentially it was like, what would have happened if the Functionists kept control of Cybertron? And it was a nice little, it was the first 6 issues of Lost Light, kind of explaining that story, and I'm not going to go over that, but he brings an alternate universe Lost Light, which was called the Last Light, into what was called the Warren, which was a piece of space that had like 5 or 6 duplicate Cybertrons, and behind him was basically the Functionist universe of Cybertron, which looked like Primus from the Cybertron cartoon. They all formed the key to vector signal, blah blah blah. So they made him a big transformer, and that was how they spread their will of functionism throughout the galaxy. And which that in itself was already cool. Like they ended up ramming something into the back of his neck on Swerve's suggestion to force a transformation, which is again a callback to early More Than Meets the Eye stuff.
Yeah.
But basically, we find out Rungus Primus, which now where's that Toy Mastermind Creations? You can't say he's a nobody anymore.
Yeah. Give me a motherfucking wrong.
I want the rest of the guide in hand too, if I'm being honest. But yeah, give me a rung first. And so we find out, which we'd found out earlier in the Lost Light during the Functionist deal, that he could make the crystals that the Matrix was out of. And he did it under such duress. Anyways, he has this big understanding that, he is Primus, and that was a cool revelation too. But he ended up separating his body into 5 different sets. Or
I thought it was
multiple.
6.
5 or 6, something like that.
Something like that.
And different teams went to Cybertron, where essentially the main ports go to Vector Sigma, which all acted like, and that's why they needed them in planet mode, because they were all separated in robot mode. And the deal was at a certain time, they all needed to be open to essentially cleanse the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Swerve and Misfire as a team. You had Whirl and, was it Magnus?
Believe so.
I think.
And then you had, I think, Grimlock and someone else, and
Tailgate.
Rodimus and Megatron.
Tailgate.
And Tailgate and
Tailgate?
Cyclonus.
Yeah, Cyclonus and Tailgate. And then you had Megatron and Rodimus as a group. Needless to say, everything went as it should have, with a couple of minor hiccups, and there was a stern talking to by somebody. I can't remember who it was, trying to, saying to open the Matrix, it was more than just, open damn you. And there were a couple of open damn yous in that book.
Yeah.
And it was like a feeling, because it was locked up by the morality lock. Rodimus had his arm blown off, so he couldn't do it. He tossed it to Megatron, and what should have been Megatron opening that fucking Matrix, Roberts crushed our dreams. And that shit pissed me off so bad. Sorry for that. Because man, that would have been the ultimate redemption. Megatron was just he was struggling. He was like, I can't.
By this point, Megatron is straight up Autobot now, right? I mean,
yeah, he's been Autobot.
He has been for years.
Right? Yeah,
he's been pushing a peaceful liberation in the Functionist universe for a long ass time too.
Dude, he was a pacifist.
Yeah, he kind of passed.
He refused to fight until he had to. More Than Meets the Eye 50.
Right.
5.
Yeah, that's kind of what I remember reading. Is everyone, when I was had been reading, he's pretty much.
Yeah, he didn't want the cannon back. He didn't. Yeah, he was like, I will give orders, but that's it.
Yeah.
So that man, that's my biggest issue with that whole book, is that we didn't get that. Megatron opening a Matrix would have been A, rage in the fandom, and B, it would have been unheard of. No one else would have done it.
Yeah, it would have been pretty fun.
People maybe would have seen it coming, but to kind of maybe have a hesitation on one page, you flip to the next panel and it slowly pops open. That would have been it. Instead, he had to toss it to Rodimus, who grabbed one handle with his teeth and the other handle with his hand and opened it up that way.
Ugh, Rodimus.
Yeah. And you could see, whenever Megatron couldn't open it, just the despair on Rodimus's face, because Rodimus genuinely thought he would have been able to pass that morality lock.
Yeah,
but maybe his sins were too deep.
I guess.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the Field of Flowers.
Oh my God, that scene
on him and Ravage, or with him and Terminus.
No, on
him and Ravage.
On the
More Than Meets the Eye.
Okay, yeah, with him and Ravage, or when he was talking to Ravage.
No, I'm talking about his guilt. I think that's what they've done. Megatron, no matter what, can't get over his guilt now.
Well, yeah, because the Megatron. Well, you can see that Megatron. You can see in his actions, he is overcompensating to try to make up for his past. He always
because Go ahead, Russ.
He was
Sorry.
trying to, in a few short years,
Yeah.
make up for millions
Right,
of
man.
years of.
Exactly. There you go. And he's
Yeah.
trying to do it. And I think it's that guilt is always going to be there. And that guilt maybe keep him from opening up the Matrix because he's constantly having that, reliving, I guess, all the sins that he's done,
Right.
Well,
and that's poetic in a sense.
yeah, I think that like Megatron not being able to get over his past didn't allow him to open the Matrix.
There you go. That's actually more that's cleans it up a bit better. Yeah.
Because like at this point when he came back, he had been in the Functionist universe for like what? For centuries, I guess.
No. I think that was due to the storytelling at the end of 25 of how long things had gone on between Prowl and the rest of Earth, finding where the Lost Light crew was.
Yeah, but like remember when the Functionist Primus came through, and they were talking about how long that war went.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I mean, I believe it was centuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was then.
Yeah. So it's like Megatron had been trying to atone for so long, and he still couldn't forgive himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, self forgiveness is the hardest thing of all. It's hard to forgive yourself. You can forgive other people, but I hold that guilt. Everyone does.
Also in that book, Magnus, essentially, or Minimus rather, he hopped out of the Magnus armor and then he hopped out of his other shell, and ended up dying in the end of everything too.
Oh, poor Minimus Samus! Oh no!
Yeah, man. Or no, he did. Did he?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't end up dying. Remember,
the armor was destroyed.
I remember seeing his eyes go black. Why?
Well, the armor was destroyed, but if you look, if
Megatron said to him, "You've always been stronger without the armor."
Oh, right. That's right. That's right.
Why don't you just abandon it anyway? So he agreed to never wear it again.
But at the end of the issue, he's in the armor again.
Right. Which may have just been he was more comfortable in, I think.
Yeah. I think that I think that he, like, just to wrap up Magnus, I think that he knew that there needed to be an Ultra Magnus. And he and even though whatever his thing, Lost Light and More Than Meets the Eye is all about redemption. It's the redemption of Rodimus, it's about redemption and guilt.
Whirl, Cyclonus, Megatron,
Whirl, Cyclonus,
Chrome Dome, especially Chrome Dome,
Brainstorm,
yeah.
It's all about these characters trying to atone for the things that they've done and never being able to get it right. But I think that with Magnus's ending back in the armor, I think that basically like what it said was that, Magnus, Ambus knows there needs to be a Magnus, and there's nobody that's been a better Magnus than Minimus Ambus.
I liked the Transformers versus the Rom versus the Transformers mini that kind of showed like Minimus had worn the armor and he passed it on, and then the predecessor died in that armor and they called him back to wear, you know what I mean, after he had done his service, and he was like, absolutely. So, but kind of going back into the rest of like Lost Light 25, the We Achieved Something story.
Yeah.
There was a lot of time jumps, so it can be a little difficult to follow.
Yeah.
But it starts out at Ratchet's funeral, or I know that's early on in the book, and
you didn't know it was Ratchet at first, though.
Yeah, that's right. You knew it was someone's funeral, but you didn't know who. But come to find out, it was Ratchet. And they had explained that Ratchet and Drift ended up moving to, what was it, Luna 1?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. Because all the hotspots reactivated they're all like 0.1 percenters, which basically made 0.1% not a thing anymore because there was many of them. So they went to kind of harvest and shape those, and they ended up becoming Conjunction Dura.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna
Which-
say that they were.
Yeah,
And that
which was a long
drift
time
art,
coming.
that drift art. Oh my god, I want to drift. I want an MMC to do drift like that.
I know, dude. I wanted either a More Than Meets the Eye or a Lost Light version instead of the McCarthy version that we got.
Yeah.
But maybe SXS will do it. They did such a good job with their Rodimus. I think they could do that drift. But so there was that, and we find out, there at the memorial you see Chrome Dome there, and a couple of people had been asking, well, what about Rewind? And they were like, look, he's there, you can see him. He was Rewind was stuck permanently in his thumb drive mode, basically. Which had mass shifted down, and Chrome Dome just kind of carried him everywhere because Rewind wanted to know everything there was to know about the Functionist universe, and it overloaded him, and essentially gave him
he got
what's
mode locked.
Mode locked, and he also his memory got what's the Alzheimer's essentially.
Yeah.
But Chrome Dome
He had space dementia.
Yeah, that's right, dementia. But Chrome Dome put a port in the back of his mind or the back of his neck, so he could insert Rewind whenever they wanted to talk or whatever.
Yeah,
which again,
that's kind of cool though.
Like, yeah, this is all hundreds of years after this had happened.
Right.
This wasn't very recent. This is all hundreds of years, and
I think they said it was what 830 years roughly.
Yeah, it was about that.
And then they got to talking about Megatron's retrial, which we kind of saw, and then which was what I thought was fucking awesome, and why I love IDW Rodimus so much. Whenever they were questioning him, because Prowl was like, nope, we got a retrial, and Rodimus was like, you're such a fucking dick, like he helped, and Rodimus even told Prowl that Megatron was the one that opened the Matrix, to help save them, and when Rodimus revisited Megatron in his cell, just like he did in season 2 of More Than Meets the Eye during the first trial of Megatron. In that More Than Meets the Eye book, he was like, you're going to die and you deserve it. But this time around, he said, you're going to die and you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And they had talked Prowl into letting them take a quick spin in Lost Light to, just to kind of have one last little adventure or whatever of everyone. This is back in the right after the events.
Okay, this reminded me of when they let Kirk take the Enterprise for that one last journey before they fucking mothballed it.
Yeah.
And,
But basically, so it had all the members. This is before Rewind went crazy, and before Ratchet had died, and everyone was still present for the most part at the end of that conflict. You had the Scavengers and Grimlock on board.
Yeah.
And we find out essentially later in the book that that it goes back to that story arc where they found out there were 2 lost lights, and how they could replicate it. And they essentially replicated it so that way the crew in its prime could still go and do adventures because it was a quantum duplicate. But meanwhile, the crew that had to go back, they had to suffer all the sad shit, like, essentially Megatron's execution.
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff that they went on to do that was good too. Like, they still got to do it, but they knew there was a duplicate versions of themselves out there exploring other parts of the galaxy.
Prowl's a stickler, isn't he?
Prowl's a dick.
I know, but he's like Megatron's got to die.
Well, they didn't state. They said he's either going to be executed, or he will be held in a cell with no contact with anyone else.
Well,
for eternity.
Well, I thought they said.
I feel like Megatron's the kind of guy that would have taken the death sentence.
See, probably. I thought that they said it was spark separation.
Oh,
I don't remember.
You mean
what?
Spark extraction.
Yeah, spark extraction.
Yeah.
which is basically death because they basically take you out of your body and
Yeah.
put you in a put your spark in like a
we
little.
saw that. We saw that. They did that shit in Garrus 9.
Yeah,
They would essentially put a spark in a little tube, and that's
a
where he
little
would have
tube.
lived. I
Yeah,
feel like Megatron
I
would
said a
have.
jar, but it's more like a tube. You're right.
Yeah, I feel it was the same
Yeah.
thing. I feel like Megatron would have taken the death penalty though.
I think he would.
Well,
but
you know
I
why he
didn't think
would?
that
Because he could. He would take that because he couldn't stand living with himself anymore.
Right.
His guilt.
Right.
Probably right.
And-
Yeah.
And Prowl's the kind of guy that's like, you don't get off that easy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's the way it read to me, was that like Prowl was like, yeah, fuck this, you're getting spark extracted.
Yeah, Prowl is a dick. They kept him a dick throughout that comic.
They
Yeah.
really did. Man.
But I like him still because he is like, I do like his, I give a fuck about, but he's an asshole.
Didn't somebody punch him too early on in that book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. It may have been
Rodimus.
Chrome again. Oh,
Rod-
Rodimus, that's right.
yeah.
I mean, Prowl is like,
Or maybe it was Chrome Dome. I can't remember. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
I
have to
know.
look.
I know. Chrome Dome threw his ass off a fucking mountain.
Oh yeah, Chrome Dome.
And they basically like one of the scenes where they
funny.
trying to keep Grimlock away from him.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were like, "Come on, big guy."
Yeah, it was Grimlock.
Yeah, because they were trying to keep Grimlock
That's
from
pretty good.
not killing Prowl.
And then the Constructicons are sitting there like, oh shit. All right, let's form up. Because Prowl's the head of Devastator.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And they're like,
he's
you don't fuck with our boy,
right, of course, because that's
But
an odd little relationship to me. But okay.
yeah. see, like,
Well, they've been inside Prowl's head. They know what a dick Prowl really is. That's why
Yeah.
they love him so much.
Yeah.
Of course.
and see, to me like this is like that Lost Light issue just fucking tied up so much shit.
No, it does sound like it. Yeah.
Tied up shit from Last Stand.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Tied up all sorts of shit from the Records trilogy. It tied up everything.
Well, that's good then. I mean, that's good that they were able to do that, clean everything up.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? You know who wrote that exactly?
Roberts.
James Roberts.
Roberts.
Yeah,
right?
Roberts has written the entire More Than Meets the Eye and Lost
Roberts is amazing because though he can sit there and take what other people wrote though, and he's one I remember. He has the ability to find a way to mesh it all together. He's incredible.
I
Yeah.
will say
Yeah.
though, this was not the ending, and I guess it's good for him because you never want your readers to be able to assume what you're going to do next.
Right.
But this didn't have the finality that I thought it was going to have, and I think Nick, we kind of talked about that a little
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Oh,
And it's good if for whatever reason somebody else, or if even Roberts wants to kind of come back to there, if IDW would be open to doing books that happen in multiple settings, universes, whatever, instead of a core ongoing. If they ever wanted to do another miniseries, like a 10-issue miniseries, they could pick up where the Lost Light, that duplicate Lost Light left off.
Gotcha.
But it just, I expected, just because of how Last Stand of the Wreckers was and the issue 55 of More Than Meets the Eye, stuff like that. Like, I expected a certain finality to it.
It wasn't
I think, yeah. It
But-
really wasn't. It wasn't ending.
There was
It
no
wasn't an ending at all.
there was no finality, but it was like the end of the voyage home. Like, I keep going to Star Trek, but that's what it felt like to me. It was like the end of the voyage home. It was, the fucking Star Trek whale movie where like they take the Enterprise out and it's go to the last star on the left and keep going. It was that sense of hope that you knew there was an alternate crew of the Lost Light that was going to keep doing the shit that they were doing, no matter how much you saw the pain and destruction that the regular crew that we grew to love, fucking had.
Oh man.
And I feel like
There
that's
was that crew out there that was still doing it.
And that, I feel like that's also something that we kind of learned about in the first time we found out that there was a duplicate Lost Light. That it's like, of course, the universe is going to correct itself, and only one of these groups is going to survive. And I think seeing the characters die off in the main means that, like, to me, means that the other characters are still doing just fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, even
that moment though, you find out Whirl has been serving prison time for centuries at this point, and Cyclonus and Tailgate tell him, when your sentence is up, we want you to come live with us.
Yeah.
And he just threw a big hug around Cyclonus, man. That was awesome.
And it wasn't just that, but like Drift gave Whirl Ratchet's hands, and Whirl was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not broken."
Yeah.
You know?
Like Whirl had an ending that was like, okay, Whirl's okay, you know.
Yeah. Of all the people that were suicidal and ready to die, it was Whirl.
They offered Whirl Ratchet's hands, and Whirl's like,
well,
because
Whirl underwent shadow play like Shockwave did,
right?
Impurata, shadow play. Shadow play was where they fucked with your mind. Impurata is where they fucked with your physical appearance.
Yeah.
Like giving you the mono eye, just blank face like Shockwave and Whirl have, and the claw hands, or
the claw, or the spark, the blaster hands.
Yeah, well, it was claw, because Glitch went through it too.
Yeah,
right. Claw hands and a mono eye, so you couldn't emote.
Right.
But yeah.
It was the ultimate punishment from the Functionists and
But to get both of them, Shockwave got both Shadow Play and Impurata. Like that was the double ultimate punishment. But
World just got Impurata.
Right, Glitch just got Impurata.
Now, I kind of would like to talk about where IDW could go.
Interesting, man. Very interesting.
We know that IDW still has the license,
right? And the little letter in the back of Optimus Prime 25, John Barber talked about, Transformers is going to go in a place that he thinks the readers are going to enjoy, and I'm still so skeptical on that.
Why? Go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
I was you were probably skeptical because it's going to be Hasbro's going to stick their nose in it and say, "We want you to do a comic on what product we're putting out."
That's the
thing. For the comic to push the product, I've always loved that idea.
Yeah, I know, but I just can't stand when Hasbro tries to give them a story and say, "Here's the story, write it."
I think we're gonna go back to the bare bones Autobot versus Decepticon, and
I don't think so. Boring. I don't think so. I think they learned their lesson. The things that I wanted to say just to Russ real quick. Titans Return and the one, what was before that?
Combiner Wars.
Those were damn good stories in IDW.
I thought Combiner Wars was a lot better than Titans Return, but they were both good stories.
They were both good.
Okay.
Titans Return would be the inferior. It's not that it's not Hasbro being as heavy-handed as they were with Marvel.
It's more. They give credit to the writers for that, though. That
or even as heavy-handed as they were.
Well, that's the thing. I think
well with that.
Sorry, I keep interrupted.
Sorry.
My thing is that it seems like with IDW, because of the critical reception they've gotten, and the trust that they have in IDW right now, they've gotten out of IDW's way. Because
they basically will let them do what they want to do. They say, "Look, here's the products we have. We need you to incorporate this into it, but we'll
you
do it
fucking come up with the story."
Do it. That's a good point, and I
everything still goes through an approval process. It has. IDW can't just make stories. Yeah, it's got to go through all that.
That's what I mean. So,
and another thing, Russ, like you've got to understand, like Hasbro being a children's toy company, you have had the first transgender Transformer.
True.
You have same-sex Transformer relationships.
A plethora of same-sex Transformers relationships.
Yeah, but that's because really, Cybertronians are not supposed to have really a sex.
And they don't.
Well, that was
really don't.
That was established in the G1 cartoon.
Right.
There are male and female.
True. That's true, but then that kind of went away though. That was only the G1 cartoon kind of had that.
Well,
I
no,
kinda
that
felt
was
like,
that was carried.
Bob
that was-
Budiansky wanted to make Ratchet a female.
did it
Yeah.
really? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
he's actually said he wanted to make Ratchet a
Yeah.
female.
Okay.
The original bio read all the pronouns read as she instead of he.
Mhm.
Ah, interesting. All right.
So I mean, for basically what I'm mentioning, like no matter what your identity politics are,
I see what
and
you're
how,
saying.
and how you feel about it,
Yeah.
Hasbro has taken a step back, and they've allowed these writers and creators to be progressive.
And that's cool,
Well,
and
I
that's
think
good.
a lot of it has to do with like they know that little kids also aren't reading these books. Like these
Yeah.
books have been
That's true.
made for
These
the
books-
teen and an
yes.
adult audience.
Absolutely.
And they do have, you know, at the time, what was it, the shitty Robots in Disguise, and now a Cyberverse series for the kiddos.
Right.
Right.
You got those.
Yeah. I think we've wrapped up pretty much everything there is to talk about what's happened with IDW. Does
Right.
everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about where the fuck they're going.
Okay. Now, what are your? Well, what are your?
Yeah, I
what's
need
your
to
theory?
hear your stance on it.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that there will be a new faction of Decepticons, and it is going to be led by Optimus Prime. And I think that your new Autobot leader is going to be Prowl.
So you think Optimus Prime's going to be a Decepticon and that Prowl's gonna be the Autobot leader?
Because we were talking in our group chat, and I said basically they need to put Optimus Prime on the shelf for a few years,
And
because
you're right.
because they've done so much damage to that. Well, not really damage, but they've made that character unpalatable.
Right.
I agree with that. I totally agree with what you just said. Everything you just said is on.
So I think that the best fucking thing that they could do is basically have the Autobots run by Prowl and show how much of a fucking bastard Prowl is. Optimus Prime is supposedly dead. Supposedly. But after his fight with the little guy in Unicron, it was left pretty open-ended for him to come back. And I think personally that that's how they do it. They have.
I don't think they're going to pick up from this story, Nick. I think they're starting from scratch.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, they've said like this is the end. This is it. This isn't a it's not a soft reboot like Death of Optimus Prime was.
So, if they're starting over again, like they're gonna like really reboot the entire thing, like go back to the beginning.
That's the general consensus on.
So, are we gonna have the war again, basically?
As boring as that sounds, yes.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm okay with the war.
I can't see them doing it, especially since Roberts is now going to be an editor.
Is Roberts going to be an editor? I know he's stepping away from writing.
Yeah, Roberts is stepping away from writing. He said he's so drained from all the projects with Lost Light and everything, and how they, because of whatever's going on and how they had to end it, that he's drained. But he is an editor now at IDW.
Okay, so I mean, look,
Barber was an editor for a while too, and then he came back down to write. I think Barber's still an editor too. But
if they were to do the war again, is to go back to that, that'd be fine. But they need to do it differently.
Yeah, and the other thing is they need to use the different characters. The Maximals and Predacons need to be involved.
Okay,
absolutely.
We know that in 2 to 3 years' time, according to Warden, we're gonna see John Warden. We're gonna see a Beast Wars 25th anniversary kind of resurgence thing. That was something he had mentioned at one of those conventions, and I feel like that will play into it when the time comes. But I think that they're going to try to push this whole siege thing. There's not necessarily siege, but this whole War for Cybertron thing.
Right.
Now, I do think we'll get
So-
some cool shit out of it. Like, I think we'll maybe see some Beast Machines character designs. Like, we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think we'll get some of that stuff. Maxims of Viacons, whatever, in a more traditional sense. But I feel like it's going to be a series of short stories. If that makes any sense.
I understand.
That maybe plays into a bigger picture.
I understand the skepticism of, okay, they're just going to go back to the status quo because that's what sells. I hope that they evolve like they have with the stories that they've written.
I'm gonna pick up the new book, at least the new first issue.
Right.
But if they do go back to this war story setting, it's got to have some substance, because I'll be honest, the Infiltration, Devastation, all those Asian series, those were so fucking lame.
Yeah.
But then you had Stormbringer peppered in, and Stormbringer was amazing.
Stormbringer was awesome.
But and then we got the real shit at All Hail Megatron.
All Hail Megatron. Yeah. All Hail Megatron saved IDW's Transformers.
It did, man, and everything that came after it was just
Great.
perfect. It was more than just, they were still.
It was more than meets the eye.
Fuck you, Josh.
But yeah, there was more to it. There was more to it than just small skirmishes.
Substance.
Yeah. So if they do that, and if we can see if they can implement characters like the DJD this early on in a reboot, I may be into it.
New DJD. I don't want.
Be okay. I maybe if they had different backgrounds, yes. But as far as the characters go, Tarn, Kaon, Voss.
Right.
Felix,
I want them to keep the names.
Yeah.
But be different characters in those roles. Right.
Remember
when the DJD was introduced? Who was it? Voss? That wasn't the original Voss, right?
Right. Yeah, because they've always
that was
They were code names, is what they were.
Yeah.
Amos's brother. Well, Dominus Amos. We found out that was Dominus Amos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've learned that the DJD all took code names for the first cities that the Decepticons took.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
I want Grimlock as Tarn.
No, really,
dude. Look at where Grimlock was left off.
You don't want that. Grimlock is a favorite character. There's no way that would go.
Why wouldn't that go?
I would like to see Grimlock as Tarn for a while, and then he decides that shit's not for him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that basically they need to turn the Autobots into the bad guys.
Well,
which they had kind of been doing, ever since the big, the death of Optimus Prime, ever since Phase 2 started.
Right.
And I think that's a good take.
Well, if you go back to the origin story of the Decepticons, I mean, I wasn't the Autobots back then; it was the Primes, but running everything. But they were kind of douchebags, And the Decepticons really rose up initially as a rebellion.
Right.
But it turned into conquest because Megatron got a little.
It wasn't necessarily Megatron, but it was just other members joining the cause for their own ends.
That's true, but that happens. That happens in rebellions too. Everyone, there's people that are going to contribute for their own reasons. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, kind of thing. It's like.
See, but I want to see a Decepticon faction led by Optimus Prime with mixed Autobots and Decepticons.
Nick, you're making me wet in the pants. Stop.
Because dude, especially dude. Farther back than farther back than all this shit went. If you have fucking Optimus Prime taking the Megatron role, and then you've got motherfucking Six Shot as his fucking lieutenant. After Six Shot got crushed, and then all the shit that happened to Six Shot, then you got they could do. There's so much shit they can do.
Villain Prime is amazing. That'd be great.
Well, no. See, that's what they've established is basically Megatron was a villain because he lost his way.
Okay.
Megatron was a villain because he was a guerrilla leader who
Essentially, he was a
dropped his
poet.
morals.
He was a poet first and foremost.
Right.
And he was against the form dictates function.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
that's where he had a target painted on his back, and then whenever he lost Terminus, that's when he really
That's when he lost his shit a little bit.
That's when he snapped. He
He
lost
snapped,
his best friend,
exactly.
potential lover, and he snapped.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. There was a point where his cause changed because he lost somebody. It meant something to him.
And I just want to mention that it is canon that the only Transformer that Megatron refused to face in the gladiatorial ring was Grimlock.
Yeah.
Well, is that well, I would say that was smart.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it was out of fear, but just out of the fact that he needed to make sure that he had a rein on his own movement. Because
right.
Grimlock would have beat everyone, would have started following Grimlock.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If everybody started following Grimlock, they would have just been a group of fucking pirates.
Ooh, I could qualify.
That was so funny. No, I mean that's great. I don't know, it's cool, man.
But like, I'm sorry to keep on this, but like, I just read it again, and like, Blaster's story, especially with what happened with Getaway and everything, like you could have that same dynamic that Blaster had in the G1 Marvel comics, where he was Blaster was a bitch. You know what I mean? Blaster was a duplicitous, undercutting bitch. And like, you could have Prowl and Blaster, and then you have a whole bunch of Autobots that would just be like, okay, we're Autobots. And then you would have the ones that would question themselves, like Bumblebee,
or even like going back to Spotlight Blair, like Blair questioned that whole movement in the beginning as well.
Yeah. And Blur was basically like, look, I'm a racer. I'm not fucking with you people.
Yeah, I'm a fighter. I don't want to fight. I don't want to take sides. I just want to run the track.
Yeah. I think that there's interesting directions that they can go. And like Dakota, I think that if they go back, if they do the war, okay. But if they do it the same way, it's a failure.
Right. I think if it goes back to bare bones, retreat, then it's lost. If I see something like that, then I'm immediately like I'm gonna call my comic book. I'm gonna send my comic book shop an email and be like, look, drop the shit from my fucking pool.
Yeah.
Burn every copy you have.
And another thing that I think is needed is a fucking scavenger series.
Oh yeah. Those guys, like I wish there were more would have been more books with them.
Yeah.
I get it, time constraints, and I feel like maybe more would have been planned. But,
when did they say they're supposed to start whatever new series they're going to be starting?
It's next
I'm
year.
not exactly sure. The February solicits already came out.
Yeah.
They said 2019, so it could very well be a book that they launch in the summer, if we're lucky, sometime in the spring.
You probably get you probably get it on a free comic book day.
Yeah.
That's
like a good point. May.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the perfect jump off spot.
Yeah.
Put out a 0 issue for free comic book day and say we're launching in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IDW.
And I'm fine with a wait.
I am too, man, because like I got 8 more weeks, 7 more weeks of 8 more weeks of X-Men books just hitting me hard, So I got to look at my other love and be like, all right, look, let me enjoy this.
Okay. Sam, do you have any feelings about IDW Transformers, or?
I'm very out of it.
Right, but like, where are you up to?
Like, did I've read?
Yeah.
I've read like a couple of the like the More Than Meets the Eye
Uh-huh.
trades, like from like I think like maybe 3 and 4. This is
Okay.
a long time ago. But my I guess like big comment would be like where they're going from here, because I wonder how much like this new toy line is going to affect that and influence
And
that.
see, yeah,
Me
man,
too.
I'm with you, Sam. Like, I think the toy line is going to affect it.
I
To
agree.
say,
I
to say it
do
wouldn't, I
too.
think would be silly. Maybe in terms
Well-
of an artistic style.
Yeah.
And I'm all for, no matter how I think the toys look, I'm all for artwork matching toys, or even better, toys matching artwork.
Abs,
But as
that's
long as
better.
there's something, as long as there's a physical representation of these, great designs and these great stories, that's what gets interesting.
And because like I'm even confused on this new toy line of like, is it like the same War for Cybertron as the video games were, or are they just taking that same title?
No, it's just the same title.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sure Machinima will do something with it. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's what
yeah,
what it's
Machinima's
gonna
already
be.
announced the 3 series, just like they did for the last trilogy.
Yeah.
It seems that Hasbro has decided to release their toys in trilogies now, like their waves.
You got to
The
think at the end of this trilogy, at the end of this current trilogy, that's the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars. So
that's true
give
too.
me 3 years of Beast Wars
And
toys, and I'm never gonna fucking eat a full meal ever again.
and
I call bullshit because I've seen you.
Josh, that's why I've been packing on all this weight, because that's gonna be a 3-year winter for me.
But then who will the swamp ladies cuddle up to when it's cold?
Dude, they'll have to find their nearest heroin junkie.
yo, my man Deluxe says, "I hope Hasbro takes over the world."
I hope they sell to Disney. If they would just sell to Disney, I think I'd be happy.
I thought they already did.
We'd be all good.
No, they ain't sold to Disney yet. Fucking Paramount is still fucking producing their shit. Deluxe, Walt, we'd love to have both of you guys on the show. Just hit me up whenever you'd like.
Yeah, I was telling Matt today I'd love to, we'd love to have him on. And we were talking about other people we'd like to have on. So,
Yeah. All right, I guess the cat's out of the bag then.
I didn't let any cats out.
I was like, yeah, what kind of cat's out of the bag?
I'm having some health problems.
Oh. Cat is not-
It's not a disease or anything. It's
Guys, he's going bald.
it's I don't have cancer. I don't have AIDS. No matter how much I should have the herp.
Hey, Nick's got to have a vaginoplasty.
Yeah.
Nick wants to see how the other half lives.
Yeah. I may need surgery at some point in the near future on my shoulder. And this show will not be going anywhere. We're making arrangements to make sure that you guys will get your MPSP theater, whether I'm here or not. It's nothing major. I may have
You
ripped
keep saying it's nothing major. I think it's something major.
No,
I mean-
it's serious. It seriously is a shoulder injury. It's just becoming progressively worse. And the surgery that I've talked to my wife recently changed jobs, and so I've been without insurance for a while, and I was injured back in September doing some stupid shit, and it's a shoulder injury, so it makes it like working the mouse for the show. I need a Percocet after. So even if
Nick,
I'm not
if you'd stop clicking on all of those
Pornhub links.
compilation videos.
Listen, how much fapping have you been doing to cause this?
I go about 4 or 5 times a day.
Oh, you gotta up those numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, no matter what goes on, this show will continue with or without me. Especially since we've joined the Rock Network. I'll be here as much as I possibly can, and I'm not going to be able to find out anything before a few months from now. But yeah, I love y'all, and this show has just been so much fun, and I hate to be such a downer. Fuck you. But I'm gonna do everything that I can to be here and running the show and doing what we can. It's
Hey.
nothing life threatening. I'm just in a lot of pain and can't do the same things that I should. So
Well,
there's
you know, you can still be the director. One of us can just be behind the wheel.
yeah, we might
No.
have to do that. But we'll figure it out. It's not that big a deal.
Samwise, this is your moment. This is where you step up. This is where you take over.
How did Dakota
We'll get
know? How did Dakota know about that?
You see, it's all these alien probes shooting radio signals into the human mind and
Oh,
the way
God, there
we
he goes.
perceive things.
But I'll be doing what I can. Is there anything
Look
else
at
we
him.
want to talk
Look
about?
at him. Look at him.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
what
Say-
about,
we also have an idea for a half-hour show with me, Dakota, and Sam.
It'd just be a one-off thing.
Because
I
the
think
thing,
it
the
would
thing
be.
is, the thing is, like the deal, yeah, because Sam would die at the end of the first episode.
my head would roll off my shoulders.
The deal is
Hey,
like
it
we
wouldn't
stop
fall far.
broadcast. We stop broadcast so Sam loses his shit, and
Yeah.
he's got to try his best to not lose his shit.
We're gonna have to have somebody monitor Sam.
There'll be a team of nurses and doctors on standby.
All right.
Doctor,
So-
he's having an aneurysm.
Well, but before we split, didn't you want to read the posts where you asked people?
Oh yes. See, look at this. Beautiful. A positive ending. I fucking love it. Here we go. I asked this week.
C positive. That's right.
C positive. I asked the realm for this week because we are going on Black Friday today.
Right.
If they could post some things in the realm that they were thankful for, and I really appreciate the response. Thank everybody that responded. So, serious or not, here's your responses.
Here we go.
So these are the things that people are thankful for. Lance Park. I am thankful for Astrobots.
Ah, nice.
And
He had one of those at TFCon, and
it's pretty nice.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Anna
They're pretty
Dubois.
Oh God.
I am thankful for my friends.
What?
That means more
What?
than just
Wait,
you.
wait. She said friends? What? She's not thankful for her awesome husband? Are you fucking kidding me?
Russ,
Fuck-
Russ,
fuck
what's gonna
that.
happen if you beat her more?
I don't-
Oh God!
I gotta obey the law.
I heard-
No
I
bigger than
heard-
my thumb.
I heard that husband wasn't doing the job. Other people had to step in, but I
Oh,
don't know
really?
what's going on.
That husband will cut other people's balls off.
Walt. He is thankful for meeting people at TFCon and being on these podcasts
And Newports.
and Newports
And
and
Newport.
MGD.
Man, we had so much fun with Walt when he hung out with us that Saturday night, and we got him
He's
playing
a-
Cards
he is-
Against
he is-
Humanity.
Oh
He's
my
my
god!
brother from another mother, man.
Walt's good people.
Yeah.
Jose, thank you for replying. He says he's thankful for life, health, family, and the community being built here within the realm.
Nice.
I wouldn't dedicate as much time as I do if it was something I didn't believe in. Love all you guys and happy Thanksgiving.
Hell yeah.
Sweetness.
Matt Hurd, thankful for my family and the ability to walk.
Yeah, that's a good dude. I fucking broke his back in half.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
And I'm complaining about a fucking shoulder.
All right.
He said,
What a sissy.
he said he's also thankful I found the Cool Table Network. My man, Jason Lowry. I'm thankful for being alive and healthy. A great job, wonderful friends and family. I especially like to show my appreciation to my bride to be Bethany. She is so amazing, and without her, I would be dead in a ditch somewhere. Haha. We are also thankful for the community of The Rock, whom we call home. We love y'all. Deluxe
God
Baldwin.
damn. Jason gonna make me
baby.
cry, dude.
My boy Deluxe.
That boy has a baby face. I just like to smack it with some lotion.
Oh, God damn.
And Deluxe says, I am thankful for toilet selfies.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thankful for I like his toilet selfies too. I'm thankful for them too.
And Paul
I'm
too. Paul C, my man. I'm thankful for Matt's toilet selfies.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm telling you,
Creator of the Blue Chew, man. Chew
Matt, you gotta step it up. Bathtub selfies, bunch of bubbles, lots some candles for ambiance.
Oh yeah, and have a chug. Have a chug in the tub with you.
Chug in a tub. Chug a tub dub.
So
Deluxe in a tub.
If you guys
Sweet.
don't mind to close out the show, I'd like to go ahead and go down the panel.
Well, what about us?
That's what I said. I'd like to
Oh,
go down the panel.
that's what I was going to say. What we're
God
thankful
damn,
for?
Josh, fucking
Is that what
listen.
you're saying? That's what we're going to be saying we're
Yes.
thankful for?
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, you
Fuck.
didn't say that. You just said I'm going to go down the panel.
Yeah.
You go down the panel
Well,
to
he
what?
said to close the show out, he was going to go down the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're gonna skip
damn.
pro wrestling talk because you guys took much fucking time on EIDW. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Well, there's some great storylines to cover.
Nah, it is
Russ,
good
Russ
stuff.
is like, instead of my gay wrestlers, y'all are talking about your gay robots.
I know. I wanted to talk about their butts. Don't you know?
Making the robots gay.
Now that's real wrestling.
Damn right.
Russ,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Russ, after the show, I want you to Google oil check wrestling.
Nice. I'm kind of getting
Okay.
hot. I get a little chub for it already.
That's where if the opponent gets his finger in the booty hole, then you
Yeah.
lose.
God,
And I didn't even have to look that up, but like I know what
that's
an oil check
funny.
is.
That's funny that you know about that. You're so anti-booty hole. I'm kind of impressed.
Hey, I've got to defend myself on all fronts.
I love sending Dakota ass memes.
He loves them too.
Dakota, since you're our guest, could you give us just a couple things you're thankful for this year?
Yeah, man, like I'm thankful like this year I've been able to kind of go and do so much to hang out with other friends. It started off, in June, getting to hang out with one half of Stasis Lock at RoboCon, and I got to do Little Rock Comic Con and things like that. Nice. Just be able to go and do and hang out with people that are in other states, and then of course, just a month or so ago, getting to hang out with the rest of Stasis Lock for the most part, and everyone else in the realm that I haven't met or just haven't seen in a long time. So being able to do that, even if it was this year and maybe not even in the foreseeable future, it was really cool. I'm super motherfucking thankful for Masterpiece Dinebot and Green Romulus, and but yeah, man, like I just like I said, man, I'm thankful that fortunately I've had these opportunities. I mean, I've busted my ass to be able to pay for a lot of this shit to go and do, but I'm thankful that I'm not, stuck, be it financially or physically. I'm thankful for my mobility, my ability to pay for the mobility.
Nice. Well put.
To be able to hang out with people and talk with people, and it's like in the off-air hangout from Wednesday night after the Gobble Gobble thing wrapped up. I think, Josh, you were in there with us with Tim K.
Yep.
And I think Benny was too. And I was like, it's always baffled me that we can talk to people across the country like we are now. But like, the fact that we were also talking to a dude in fucking Germany that we're friends with.
Yeah.
That isn't some kind of crazy like pen pal system set up with the postal service or whatever. It's great. Like we're able to do all of this in real time.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we all take for granted in one way or another.
All right, I think that's a good place to leave off. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh man. I tell you, first of all, I'm thankful I'm alive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I almost wasn't,
Sure.
and the friends that I have met and made through this community who have done so much for myself and my family, getting us through the hard times this summer. All the hangouts, like never once have I felt down or sad because I've always had hangouts to look forward to, or I've had shows to look forward to. Anybody, if I ever needed to talk to anybody, no problem. I could always hit somebody up. It's been amazing. I didn't have that before I found the ROC and the Cool Table Network. I didn't have that. So I'm incredibly grateful for all of you guys, in here with us, in the chat, in the groups. It's been amazing, you know. So I'm super thankful for that. I'm thankful for, Misty and my daughter, of course, and the ability to walk again now. My credit card hates my fucking guts right now after going to Chicago, but that was amazing to get to take that trip. I had so much fucking fun. It was a blast meeting everybody in person and had the time of my life. That's the first trip I've gotten to take since about 13 years. It's been the first trip I'd taken in forever. Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever been away from Misty, and that was hard. But you guys and everybody else helped make it easier to get through. And yes, I'm thankful that Lowry survived the shitting. The shit excursion.
He said the
late,
shitting.
the late night shit dispersal in the middle of the house in the middle of Ohio. That was terrible. But the fact that we can all look back at that and laugh our asses off about that, I'm thankful for the stories that I have to be able to tell. So I'm just fucking happy as hell, and I'm in a better place in my life mentally than I've been ever.
That's good. That's real good. That's
a huge part of that's to finding the realm. So
I think that's something else that should, not necessarily go without saying, but should go with saying. Like, you're kind of a testament to that. There was
community, man.
Wanting a sense of belonging. There's a bunch of people that are in to all, if not a lot of this stuff that we're into, that just doesn't have that. Either locally or in terms of online relationships.
Very true.
And to be able to have that, that's a cool thing. It's a cool thing that the guys in the realm head of state have put together for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, because I don't have anybody locally like that.
Right, and I really don't either. So this is kind of my way to interact. And it's something to definitely be thankful for. For anyone who's out there like that may be listening, like, there are strangers. Don't ever be afraid to pop in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't be afraid to pop into a hangout, because we go and broadcast it after all of our shows. So if you've never been in one, pop in tonight. Pop in tonight. We want you to pop in. We want to meet new people.
We want to meet you. All right, Josh, can I move on to Russ?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Russ, go ahead, brother.
Oh, yeah, one last thing.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Fucking.
Russ.
Go.
So, first of all, I want to say I'm thankful that I didn't kill Josh from all this fucking snoring. Keeping me awake all night. So I'm thankful for my self-control that I didn't choke him out with a pillow. And that was cool. And the other thing is, God, kept me up all night. Anyway, sorry, flashback. I'm actually just I don't know. I think I'm thankful that we've been able to. So kind of almost the same thing as you, Josh. I'm thankful that I was able to do a lot of stuff this year, and kind of something you and Dakota both said. Anna and I have been able to really do a lot more this year than we have in the past. So we've been able to do a lot more traveling, visit and spend time with people, and Anna's and it's only because of her, because I'm financially an idiot. So I spend money faster than I make it, my friend. Let me tell you, she's the one that makes it possible. She's the one that says, "Look, you got to go without this for that," and it really puts it in perspective for me and puts me on track. Plus, she makes more money than I do, so you should kind of just control that.
Russ, that's why she should beat you more than she does.
Yeah, I know she should. Yeah. The problem is Dakota, I smile when she does. Anyway.
She just has that smile with a gag ball.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. She's like, I don't want to see your face, bitch. But she's not.
So your secret word, it's like sign language.
Yeah, it's two moans real quick. No. Oh shit. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my kids. My kids are pretty awesome. They keep me level, and I love them both dearly. My son, who's bigger than me, and could probably whip my ass if he wanted to, but he still has a lot of respect for me, and I appreciate that. And he has the ability to talk me down off the ledge, and he's really. And my daughter, she's just she's kind of like she's a good kid. She's a typical teenager though. She's just kind of a weirdo, but she's sorry.
Aren't we all though?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But she's just they're both just as nerdy as I am. They've got their own nerdy things that they're into, and they mock me for stuff I'm into, and I mock them for what they're into. So it works. It's all go. Yeah, it's all love. But I'm just thankful for the community, and it's nice to have people. Again, the same thing. I don't have a lot of people around me. I got to drive about an hour to see Jason, all them. So I don't have anyone near real close to me. That's like, like a next door neighbor that's, into the same shit I am. So I have to go travel a little bit for people. And I'm glad there's people around that are into this stuff, so, but best of all, I'm thankful for you guys. Because every Friday night, it's just a fucking shit show. I love it.
That's the name. All right, Sam.
Man, definitely my job. It stresses me out, but I'm proud of what I do, whether it's with like teaching or coaching. And then my wife, she puts up with me, and like she's not into any of this shit, but she lets me do my thing and gives me a pretty wide berth when it comes to that. And then my two sons, because it's a pleasure getting to raise them and have their interests be like, not that I force my interests on them, but just like, I don't know, watching kids like be into the same stuff you are is pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
And I've been involved in like the toy community probably since like 2011, but definitely thankful for the realm, because I think with this collecting shit, like just because of a lot of the stigmas that are on it, like socially, there is like a loneliness that comes with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being involved with the realm, like I haven't felt that in a long time, and I've made some real friends, not just like toy friends, but like real friends, like if you look at our chat, like we rarely talk toys, like we're just talking about life, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thankful for that.
All right.
That's awesome, dude.
All right, I guess we're gonna end with shit piece here.
Yeah.
Like everybody said, I'm thankful for The Rock. Without the Roma collectors, I wouldn't have met you fellas. We wouldn't have this show. We wouldn't have our little chats. I'm thankful for the friends I've met through The Rock. I don't have a lot of friends on the outside like you guys are talking about. Unfortunately, through life, especially when you move around like I have, you lose friends. And the people that I've met through the Roma collectors are my friends. I'm thankful for my family. My wife is an amazing woman, and I'm very thankful for her. She allows me to be able to stay home and raise our son. Um, I'm thankful for my son. He's a delightful young man. Um, I'm delightful. I'm thankful for Transformers. Um, I think that gets lost. I think that I've been a part of other communities. I've been a part of the comic community. I've been a part of different fiction communities, and the Transformers community is different. We complain about it a lot. We talk about how we talk about how toxic it can be. We talk about how how different personalities clash. But I'm thankful for the Transformers community. I really feel that um the people, especially on this show, are some of my closest friends. And sorry that Rob couldn't be here tonight. He's dealing with some flu-like symptoms, and he was at urgent care earlier today, so that's why he couldn't be on the show. When I have a bad day, I'm the first one to bitch in our chat. Whenever anything goes wrong, I'm in there bitching, and these poor motherfuckers are there listening to me.
We usually end up get you laughing too, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, we are a community, and more than that, like the guys on this show are a family.
Yeah.
When I first started the show, I was looking for a specific group of people. I wasn't looking for Sam, Josh, Russ and Rob. I was looking for a certain type of person, and I found those people, and that's what this show is.
I only made the cut because I got to check the disabled box.
Yeah, Josh, so that means Josh is thankful for the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Absolutely. He's like, hey,
Damn right he is.
But yeah, like I've met so many people. I've met so many people through this community, and I'm sorry, I'm being really personal tonight. I've also been drinking like usual.
like usual.
I'm thankful for better living through chemistry. I'm thankful that I got some help this year, and I think I'm become a lot happier person for it.
Nice.
And I just want to put it out there. Some people don't like me. Some people don't like what we do here. But if you ever feel that you need a shoulder, I'm one of those dudes. I've got two big ones, and I'd love to hear from you.
One of them's fucked up right now, so he would just make you use the other one. It's all good.
Yeah, please go right. Please go light on the right one. But I think it's Thanksgiving is my favorite personal holiday. I think it's a time for reflection. I think it's a time for people to realize what's important in life and what means something. So again, each one of you, and even Dakota being a guest, me and Dakota have had some great conversations on air, off air, on Messenger. And again, without this community, I wouldn't have that. So,
Nick, we also go back a little ways too, on top of everything. But it definitely grew with the community.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And so I'd also like to just thank Chris and Dust.
Yeah.
Asian kid Matt. I miss that little motherfucker.
I do too, dude. I miss the shit out of him, man.
I miss the fuck out of that little dude. Dan.
Yeah. Columbine Dan. Ha!
That's my man.
Oh my
You know,
god.
I love Dan. Bobby Skullface. I love you too, dude.
Absolutely. Bobby's an amazing
Mhm.
guy, man.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end the show. How about you
Yeah, man.
guys? All
Sounds good
right.
to me, brother.
We bored the fuck out of you for the last 20 minutes, but I hope the other discussion was fruitful and enjoyable. Minions, Josh, Russ, Sam, take care of the hangout links because as usual,
Doing it now.
I got to piss like a racehorse. I
Okay.
love y'all. Be here next week. We're gonna
Yeah.
have a fucking show. We're gonna have some fucking fun. We'll figure out something to talk about. Love all y'all
Yeah.
motherfuckers. Be good.
Shout out to all you that stuck with us to all this crazy shit too, by the way.
We love y'all. Peace,
Peace out.
love, hair grease.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.